The greatest weapon against your salvation that Satan will use is comfort. Check this out. This is so crazy. This is so wild. So right now you've fallen into these old habits and they feel good and there's no reason to change. And you can go on probably for many years, living in sloth and gluttony and vice. When something comes in to disrupt that, meaning, the sloth has cost me my job or the gluttony has cost me my health. Oftentimes that's a grace from God that's saying you're just too comfortable and you need to be hit over the head. You need a catastrophe. You need a crisis to change. It is through demonic oppression or the temptations that our salvation happens, because the very vices that we get trapped in is oftentimes the concomitant virtue is the one that God's trying to build in you, try to grow in you. So I say that because when you stay comfortable, you're not going to make any changes. You're under the influence of the enemy. Think about like what I was talking about earlier before when it comes to cultural Marxism and unconventional warfare. They tell us that we're liberated when we're sunk in vice. They tell us that we're free and we're independent and life is good when we're stuck in vice. Eating junk food. Oh, man, you're free. Nobody should tell you what to eat. Living promiscuity, watching porn, drinking weed, getting drunk. You're free. You live in a free country. Those things are fun. They feel good. Why should you stop? That's what the culture does. That's what the culture promotes. That's how the culture keeps us in prison. That's how we stay stuck until, man, my wife is about to leave me. What do I do? And then we want to clean up right away. Life was so good. Now this bad thing has happened. I lost my job. My business fell apart. That very catastrophe is the thing that God is sending you so that you can get out of that slothful, lazy, gluttonous, vicious cycle of degenerate life. If you can see it that way. So you've fallen back into old vices. It's easy to fall. It's very easy to fall. Standing up ain't as easy. Babies fall, right, when they're learning to walk, because walking is harder than standing. Falling is easier than standing up and walking. So you've fallen. It's easy. You fall back into the gluttony. You fall back into the sloth. You fall back into the vice. The minute you try to stand back up and you say, out of your own will, right, you say, you know what, this is actually not right, and I'm not going to be the strongest version of myself, and I can't continue to live like this, and you decide to stand up and you say, I'm going to take control over my life. Oftentimes, that's the very moment you're going to get the biggest challenges in your life as well. I know that there are some of you here who joined this program and the first month, maybe the first 2 months, man, things are going great. And then it's like out of nowhere, a ton of bricks just falls on you. Bang! Two things happen when that occurs. The first of which is the enemy wants to knock you off track and not give you the confidence that you can continue moving forward on a virtuous path. He wants to shake your confidence. But also, God allows that. Why does God allow that? Because he wants to test your vigilance. He wants to test your commitment. He wants to test your resolve. And he knows, Father Ripperger talks about this, God allows these things to happen to us. He doesn't force them. He doesn't make them. God's not trying to make you miserable, but he allows them to happen just like a parent. I remember when I was a kid, my dad fixes cars. So he'd have all these tools, cool knives and stuff in his garage. And as a kid, I'm like, I want to fix things. I want to play with things and I want to use knives. And I remember one day I went in my dad's garage and I pulled out his knife and I was like, I don't know, I was cutting something. I was trying to fix something. I was doing something, right? And I brought it out, I was sitting in the backyard, I was playing with this knife and I cut myself. Damn, oh man, I cut myself, I had this boo-boo. And like, I didn't complain or cry or anything, but I had blood all over the place. And I went inside and I, wanted to go put a Band-Aid on it. And my dad was there and he was watching me the whole time. He was watching me the whole time. And then he said to me, he's like, yeah, I was seeing what you was doing out there. I was watching what you're doing. You're handling that knife in a very unsafe way. Before I even said anything, I was thinking though, I was like, why didn't you come and like stop me? Why didn't you come and make me show me the right way to do it? He says to me, he said, I wanted to see what you're going to do. I wanted to see how you were going to handle it. And my dad, this is where he is. He's like, I wanted you to hurt yourself. This is what my dad says. He said, I wanted you to hurt yourself. I wanted you to hurt yourself so you could learn a lesson. There's a right way to do things. There's a wrong way to do things. And so not only did he want me to learn that there's a right way and a wrong way to do things, and that I should come and ask for help instead of going in his garage and taking things. Also, I want to see how you handle it when you cut yourself. You're gonna come running inside crying to your mama? You're gonna be a big baby and cry and give up on your little project there? So it was funny. I don't know why it stuck in my mind. I must have been maybe 9 or 10 years old. And he let me. God will do the same thing. God will let you hurt yourself. When people start sinning and their intellects become darkened, God allows it. God says, oh, okay, good. That's what you want? Fine. I'll be here, just like a good father, like my father. I'll be here when you get your shit together. And when you cut yourself, right, with the gluttony or the sloth, right, bringing it back to you, when you cut yourself with the gluttony and the sloth, hey, okay, good. Did you learn a lesson? What did you learn? Most people, they'll whine and they'll cry or they'll play victim. Meanwhile, God's looking at you like, okay, what did you learn? What are you going to do next time?